Welcome to Best Fountain Pen. Today we're going to be talking about the Montegrappa Parola. Comes in this super high-end, beautiful box from Montegrappa, although I never really keep the boxes, so let's get in and show you what it's all about. So it's branded, it says Montegrappa Italia. I'm going to assume Italia is Italy. And remove the top on the box. One of my favorite things about the boxing or unboxing of this pen is actually the inside. So this is an embossed, you can kind of catch that in the light. This is an embossed box. It's kind of a leather-like. It's beautiful. I usually don't get pens with, boxes this nice. But it does come with a little handy guide, which most fountain pens do, kind of telling you a little bit about the pen itself and how to fill it, what the warranty is, all that kind of stuff from Montegrappa. Back to this beautiful box. So it says again Montegrappa Italy on it, and when we open it you can see that they displayed the pen rather nicely. I love Montegrappa's pens. They have a beautiful design work. I love the clips with the roller ball at the end. We're going to go through that shortly, but if you open it all the way up, it's just a nicely designed box. If you were buying this pen for a gift, I think it would really be appreciated, just the presentation of it. Montegrappa is really great about creating this roller ball clip design, so the little roller at the end does roll if you have it in your pocket. So if you're going to wear this as a pocket pen, which it's a little heavy, but it's not necessarily so heavy that you couldn't wear it in your pocket. I don't think many men would want to, just because it's a little bit big, a little bit top heavy, and I don't know, it seems a little large for me. But it would be great maybe in a journal or a folio, pad folio of some sort. It's a beautiful pen. I really like how the cap here, if you could see it, it just says Montegrappa. It's enamel finish, I guess. After it's been stamped or engraved with Montegrappa, they enamel finish that in black. And then leads down, it's got kind of a, well, I have the navy blue, but it comes in many different colors. So I have the navy blue. It comes in, I think, white, black, mauve, purple, a bunch of different finishes. A lot of pens are more cigar shaped where, that'll taper on both sides. This pen just tapers from large end all the way down to the small end, which makes it easy to post. So what is posting? I get questions on that sometimes from newbies. Posting is just where you push the cap on the back. What's nice about the Parola is it is not going anywhere. So once you push, let me just make sure, because this is a loaner, I don't want it to fall. So once you push the cap on the back, it doesn't come off. It seats itself inside of the inner cap there. Keep it sealed to make sure that there's no air escaping that would dry out the water-based ink and help it evaporate. So they put an inner cap inside of these caps. And then the nib itself is typical Montegrappa. It's the same shape as most Montegrappa nibs are. It's a little bit on the thinner, longer side. They like to do a narrow nib, and it writes pretty well. It's not that it's not smooth. It's more, it gives feedback similar to an Aurora Ypsilon. If you've seen my video on that, it's a bright yellow. Well, the one that I reviewed was a bright yellow fountain pen, and it had it was not a rough ride, but basically if you're using a rougher paper or a cheap like notebook paper, you would feel every fiber in the paper as you were writing. That's not a bad thing, but some more smoother pens that are maybe a little broader of a nib, you won't feel any of that. It'll kind of write like glass. You'll just feel the nib gliding across the page versus feeling the fibers in the page. And that's a very personal preference, whether you want to feel those fibers or whether you want it to kind of glide right over it. It's a little bit different, but scratchy is very different than feedback. Scratchy is just where it irritates you and it kind of grabs on the paper as you're trying to write. It's kind of scratching the paper. This pen, the Parola, does not do that. Again, if we're going to take this apart and kind of show you the inside, I really like the beefy threads that Montegrappa does, and that's on all their pens. It's just like a really thick thread section, so you can kind of see how that would hold up over time in terms of capping and uncapping. And then this one right now, I have it inked with the converter. You can also obviously use a cartridge, and it does a really good job. And I will show you the writing sample in just a second. But the ink that I have in it was one that they sent me, which it comes, in the little Montegrappa box. It's just a typical blue. Let me see if I can get it out of here. So this is the Montegrappa ink. I really like their bottles too. The shape kind of echoes their brand, and the little end cap kind of shows, well, it matches the end cap on their pens. Just a really pretty, kind of basic blue, and we're going to show you that next in the writing sample. One more thing before we go to the writing sample is I did want to show you the book that they sent with me, or to me. They sent this book to me about the Montegrappa Parola and all of their pens. I thought this, they have a great like marketing team. Whoever does their photographs for their pens and marketing really does a great job marketing their high-end price point, and really makes the pen shine. So it kind of stands out. And what I learned from this book and reading this page on the Parola was that Parola stands for word, or I guess it loosely translates to word, or does translate to word in Italian to English. And so I thought that was kind of neat. I always wondered how you name a fountain pen, and they just said it translates into word, and they thought that this was a great representation of using the written word to communicate thought. So anyway, they have these little books that you can get from Montegrappa, probably from their website, montegrappa.com. They give you information on all of the pens that they have in their collection. I've also reviewed the Neuro Uno and quite a few of their other pens. The Neuro Uno really stands out because I really enjoyed that pen from Montegrappa. It's a higher end pen. I think at the time I reviewed it, it was roughly $800 was the price point here in the US. So that's definitely an investment, but it was a beautiful writing pen, and that's one of those pens where I was telling you about that it glides across the page. There's no feedback. That tends to be my preference in a fountain pen, but not everybody. Some people like a little bit of feedback. They like to feel those fibers. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the writing sample for the Parola. All right, we're going to take a writing sample of this Montegrappa Parola in a medium nib. Alright, so you can see there the Montegrappa Parola fountain pen. This pen writes well, no skipping or hard starting. The feed keeps up with the fastest writer. Bestfountainpen.com is where you can find more information on this specific pen. Hopefully you like that writing sample of the Montegrappa Parola fountain pen. If you have any more questions about this pen, check out my review. I linked it in the notes below. It's at bestfountainpen.com, and it has close-up photos of this particular pen, a close-up writing sample, and a bunch of other information that I didn't necessarily cover in this review. But this review on video gives you a great overview. I just go into a little bit more detail in the written review that I do on my website. Please click thumbs up if this was in any way helpful to you to help other people find videos just like this, and we'll see you next time.